Good morning, everybody. In accordance with Section 45 and 53 of the Planning Act, 1990 as amended, this meeting of the Committee of Adjustment of the City of Toronto is called to order. The Committee of Adjustment considers applications for variances from the provisions of the zoning that applies to property, permission to extend or alter lawful non-conforming uses, and consent to sever property to create new lots. We acknowledge the land we're meeting on is traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. Committee of Adjustment public hearings are now conducted in a hybrid in-person and virtual format. Some applicants and participants will make their submissions in person, and others will participate virtually by electronic means through WebEx and online digital platform. The meetings are also streamed on the Toronto City Planning YouTube channel, and anyone wishing to view the hearing may watch on YouTube. Those who want to participate virtually and have registered in advance will be connecting with their computer, tablet, smartphone, or telephone and have the option of participating via video or audio only. All virtual participants will automatically be muted on entry. When your item is called, you'll be unmuted by the moderator, one person at a time. We ask that you mute your devices until you're called on to speak. Those participating by video appearance will be temporarily upgraded to panelist when your item is being held. During this time, your camera will be enabled and you will be visible during your 5-minute allotted speaking time. At all other times, your video will be disabled and you'll be reinstated as an attendee. For both in-person and virtual participants, Committee of Adjustment staff will share presentations submitted in accordance with a written submission deadline. Those participating through WebEx are not allowed to use share screen or any other panelist controls during a video appearance. People attending in person today who wish to receive a copy of the decision of the committee on an application must fill out a decision request card. And those participating virtually need to submit a written request for a decision by email. Please ensure you include your name, your address, your email address, because the Committee of Adjustment and the Toronto Local Appeal Body will be sending notifications and appeal updates by email. If you do not agree with the decision of the committee, you may be able to appeal the decision to the Toronto Local Appeal Body or in some limited circumstances to the Ontario Land Tribunal. However, the provincial government amended the Planning Act and generally removed rights of third parties to appeal Committee of Adjustment decisions. Only the applicant, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, specified persons and public bodies, as those terms are defined in the Planning Act, are permitted to appeal decisions of the Committee of Adjustment. Appeal instructions are set out at the bottom of the decision of the committee. For the procedure today, I will call each item in the order listed on the agenda. When an application is uncontested, the agent or applicant may proceed with their presentation if desired, and when the committee does not require a presentation, applicants are to advise the chair should they wish to speak to the committee. Each speaker, including the agent or applicant, will be given a maximum of 5 minutes to address the committee. Any presentation or other materials you wish to submit to the committee must have been emailed in advance of the hearing. Staff and committee members cannot accept materials at the hearing. When addressing the committee, please clearly state your name and address. Please remember to confine your remarks to the matters outlined in the application. The applicant or agent will proceed first and will make a presentation to the committee on the application. The committee may decide to defer the application if substantially revised to ensure the revised application is accurate and that all those entitled to notice of the application are informed of the changes. Then individuals either in support or opposed to the application will be invited to speak. Generally, we call on speakers in the hearing room first and then those participating through WebEx. Committee members may ask questions of each speaker after they have finished their presentation, and when all speakers are finished, the applicant or agent has the opportunity to rebut only those issues that were raised by the speakers. This will mark the end of the discussion. The application will then be taken into committee for a decision. All right, this morning, we don't have any confirmation of minutes, I believe.
Good morning, members. No, there are no minutes to be adopted.
Thank you. Ms. Deputy Secretary Treasurer, are there any declarations of interest of panel or staff in the morning time slots? I'll ask actually members and staff as well, in case we missed. Yes, Mr. Bertolo. Which item number?
Item number 11. I work with one of the applicants on other business there. So I'll recuse myself for item number 11.
All right. I think that's in our 2 p.m. slot, so we'll address that then. All right. All right, Ms. Deputy Secretary Treasurer, any files to be closed?
Through you, Mr. Chair, there is one file to be closed. However, let's take a brief moment just to pause to get the technical issue sorted out here.
Yeah, of
I know
course.
a couple of members have lost connection that way.
And our delegated item, you don't want to deal, we'll deal with that separately at a different time. Okay. All right, so as soon as we get our technical matter resolved, we will start with the first item. We've got, currently just have 2 members offline, so we are just getting that sorted.
one of these days. It's okay. Oh, you just got text. Yeah, sometimes, when we start, I just why only these two? Is there a special wire that comes from here? No. We're just the bad guys.
All right, seems that we have resolved some of our technical issues this morning. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. All right, we have some files, one file to close at our Deputy Secretary Treasurer. We want to deal with the delegated file now? No.
No.
Okay.
So delegated, we won't be, but in terms of the file to close, it is file number A002724NY. Property address is 79 Parkview Avenue, and the application is being withdrawn.
Ah, I see. Okay.
So I can have a motion to close the file.
All right, so we have a motion to close that file for 79 Parkview Avenue, members. That's, yes, Mr. Bartolo.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you, I will put forward a motion to close that file due to it being withdrawn.
All right, do I have a seconder? Second by Mr. Nipfel. All in favor? Unanimous, that file's closed. Thank you. All right, we have some deferral requests I see this morning. Item number 4, we have our agent or applicant with us.
Chairman, member of the committee.
Good morning.
My name is Mehran Haydari, 1090 Dartmouth Road, Unit 402. I'm representing the 37 RISEBROUGH Avenue.
All right, I understand you're seeking a request for deferral this morning?
Yes, actually, one of the variants on the zoning notice is missed on the public notice, so we need to have the deferral and come back with the correct public notice.
All right, very good. Hold on there. All right, let's go into committee. Mr. Nipfel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd recommend that the application be deferred to allow the applicant to come up with a complete list of variances.
All right, do I have a seconder? Okay, we have second, all in favor? Okay, that's unanimous. That is deferred. So
Yeah,
second by
thank
Mr. Marziari, for the record.
Thank you.
All right, we have another deferral, a request, item number 7.
Committee, Charlie Smith, 3 Church Street, Suite 200, Toronto, Ontario. I'm the agent for applicant for the item 7, 2851 Yonge Street, and requesting a deferral today.
All right, the reason for your deferral?
We've been in contact with Committee of Adjustment staff and in receipt of a city staff report, as well as various letters from the adjacent community. And we'd like to request the deferral to take time to explore further revisions to our proposal, engage with city planning staff and the local ward councillor on how to proceed with the application.
All right, hang in there. We have 2 more residents, someone in person, actually, I see on my list. Is there anyone in here to speak to this item in person? Mr. Hewitt, come on down to the mic, please. Just make sure your mic is on. There we go. Thank you for that assistance.
Okay. Good morning, committee. I stand here prepared to answer any questions you might all have on the 2851 Yonge Street application.
First question, what's your name and address for the
My name
record?
is William Hewitt, Hewitt. I live at 26 Glen Grove Avenue East, up private road to last house. It's an obscure address. I've been there for 47 years. I was not listed in the applicant's materials, basically because Google doesn't cover the address. It's an unusual address in the city of Toronto, overlooking the Muir Park, or Muir Gardens.
All right,
I've
there you
been-
go. I'm just going to interject, Mr. Hewitt. So the applicant has requested a deferral today, so they don't want to, when we get a request for deferral, we're not going to hear any of the merits of the application. That will be deferred to another date. But would like to ask whether or not you are in support or objection to that, specifically to that deferral request.
No objection. sir.
All right. All right, very good. We do have another area resident I'm going to hear from, and then I'm going to go back to the agent, and then we're going to deal with the deferral matter.
Okay.
Okay? All right. And thanks for coming down today.
Okay.
Staff, we have another person online as well on Glen Grove.
Hello, it's Des Leyland, 24 Glen Grove Avenue East. I'm off-site, though.
All right. And did you give us your address?
Sorry, I don't have my cell booster. We just took a cottage off grid.
Yep.
And remote, and so I don't have good connection. So could you say that again, please?
Your address.
My personal address is 24 Glen Grove Avenue East in Toronto.
Any
Yeah,
objection to
427.
the deferral request today?
Sorry?
Do you have any objection to the applicant's request to defer the application?
Yes, I do, because I think they're gaming the system. And they're doing everything in a very convoluted way. And to allow it to be deferred without it being rejected, which I can't obviously be assured that it's going to be rejected, that's your decision. But I would prefer it to be heard and rejected rather than deferred, because they're just going to keep nibbling. This has been going on for like 10 years.
All right.
And you know, I have a submission on the actual application. I would prefer it to be heard.
All right. Well, if the item is deferred to another date, that opportunity will come.
Can you say that again, please? There's a lot of echo.
Yes, if the item is deferred to a later date, then other parties will have the opportunity to come and present.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't make out what you're saying.
All right. Well, we're going to have to move on. Okay. Thank you. Let's go back to the agent. We have our agent online. Mr. Smith.
Sorry, Mr. Chair, I muted myself out of habit and had
No,
to be
nope.
unmuted.
No problem, Mr. Smith. So, we've heard from two residents, one in
Yes.
support of the deferral request, one not in support. I'll give you an opportunity to respond before we take this into committee.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So we have been in close contact with city staff, and we have reviewed the materials from the adjacent residents. We take these concerns seriously and would appreciate the opportunity to further engage with them to revise the proposal and see if there's an avenue to move forward. That's really all I can comment at this point, but we do want to work with the local residents and the councillor to figure out if there is a path forward.
All right, thank you. Okay, let's take this into committee. Just a brief comment. I think this application could benefit from some further discussions. I have some concerns specifically with the adjacency to the residential properties on Glen Grove Avenue. I think a deferral, I would be in support of deferral, but I will open it up to my colleagues to see what they have to say. Yes, Mr. Nipville.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to move deferral to allow the applicant the opportunity to explore alternatives in consultation with the councillor and the residents and the planning staff.
All right, do I have a seconder? Mr. Marziari, thank you. All in favor? All right, that deferral request is approved. The item is deferred.
Thank you,
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Staff, any other deferral requests this morning? Don't see any other on the list.
Through you, Mr. Chair, no other deferral request.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, first item of our morning, item number 1, number 7 St. Denis Drive. The purpose of this application is to obtain consent to sever the property into 3 parcels and to create various easements and rights of way. Parcel 1 contains an existing residential building. Parcel 2 will contain or will facilitate development of a new building. Parcel 3 will be a future park and open space lands. I just want to confirm our parties here today. Sir, what is your name?
Good morning, Mr. Chair. My name is Matthew Schuman. I can give you my address. I'm the applicant's solicitor. So
All right.
for the
Yeah, your address, please.
My address is 66 Wellington Street West, Suite 5300 in Toronto.
All right. Mr. Schuman, just to confirm, you're also representing both Lori Payne and Tammy Chu. They're the agents?
Ms. Chu is registered and available if there are questions about logistics in the development.
Okay, but we just have one party to speak to this item. Trying to
That's
determine that. All right. Before we get into this, I'm going to ask my colleagues whether or not they would like a presentation on this. I'm seeing heads shake. Maybe it makes our job a little easier. If it's, I will provide the floor to you if there's anything you'd like to add, but it seems we can move into committee for a decision for you on this.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There was one objection letter with some concerns about the public notice. I just want to confirm that there's a signed declaration and a photo that were submitted within the requisite period, and it was the city's standard sign that was posted.
I did see that, and staff did not raise any concerns with respect to the process, particularly as it relates to posting. So I think we're all good there.
Thank you. I'm in your hands.
All right. Okay, members, we're going to take this into committee. Mr. Nipville.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think this is a very straightforward application. I don't have any difficulties with it. I'd like to move approve. I believe that it is beneficial to the community. I'd like to move approval subject to the standard development engineering conditions that we were provided with.
Do I have a seconder?
Sorry,
Second by Mr. Kaboo. All in favor?
Okay. Can you
Sorry, before we, this Deputy Secretary Treasurer.
Sure, yes. In terms of the standard development engineering conditions, we just repeat your motion.
The development engineering conditions.
I think, do we have?
They also had standard conditions as well. My mistake. Yeah, also with the planning conditions that are attached to the agenda. Thank you, sir.
All right.
The standard conditions, just to clarify, okay.
All right. I'm looking over to Mr. Schuman. I don't see any heads shaking of those conditions. They're pretty standard. Okay. All right. So we've added the community planning conditions. Mr. Niffel, second. Do we have a seconder by Mr. Kaboo? He'll second that amendment. All in favor? Okay. That is unanimous. That is approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. All right, item number 2, 219 Shepherd Avenue East. The purpose of the application is to permit the change of use to the existing legal non-conforming automotive repair shop into a retail store, specifically a grocery retail store, and to alter the existing one-story building by constructing a one-story front north addition. We have our agent with us in person. Welcome.
Good morning. My name is Ali Malik Zadeh, and from Urbanscape Architects. My address is 236 Les Mills Road in Toronto.
All right. Sir, I have community planning. There was a late report from community planning. I just want to make sure that you have, are you aware of it?
Yes, we were of that. Actually, yesterday the site was down, and Mr. Sam was helping us to send us the copy. We have that one, and then I have some respond to their concern as well.
Yes, I was going to ask next as well. There's I see a letter of objection from a condo corp, YYC 304. You've seen that letter as well. I don't know if you perhaps have any comment or maybe just speak to that.
Yeah, just one letter we have. I have it here. There are 4 concerns that they had. One about the garbage storage and then removal. We submit one revised drawing to address the transportation that is regarding to the widening, future widening requirement on the Shepherd Avenue East. We revise our drawing as per the requirement, and then that drawing was submitted. I don't know if the staff can bring that plan up.
Sure, yeah, staff.
I can speak over the site plan, and then hopefully responding to the next page. Sorry, the site plan, I think it's going to be the next page, if they can. Yes. So in this revised site plan, we also show clearly the 2.776 meter of the road widening requirement. We are clearly reserve that one for the future widening, but as part of our extension to the existing building, we still reserving it, and then it's going to be dedicated when it's needed. At this point. On the bottom right corner of the site plan, we locate the garbage bin, and then the garbage is going to be stored in that location. Is similar location and then adjacent to the commercial plaza on the east side of this property. So they are also storing their garbage over there, and as needed, this garbage is going to be removed at least 3 times a day, 3 times a week, or even if it's needed every day. That's important. The other comment that they have again about the given food waste and then storage issue about the pest control, definitely the owner is going to take care of that issue and then maintain the site for the pest control. There was an issue about the damaging of the fence. The owner is going to be change the fence as well.
Okay.
And then that repair is going to be done. Also, there was an issue about the lighting, their concern. That one was overlooked before through to the bylaw officer enforcement, and then with the owner. There was no issue in the eye of bylaw officer, but definitely the lighting is going to be changed as part of the whole changing the use of the property. I think these 4 items, they are all going to be addressed at the time of the construction, and then I don't think they should be worried about that.
Fair enough. I also having an awareness now, I guess through this process, sometimes issues come up in advance that may not necessarily be issues, but just having them on your radar may kind of help to, I presume, work with the neighbors in the future if...
Definitely.
All right.
So the future proposed future use of the proposed property is actually, it works more with the community and surrounding. It was a mechanic shop and then in some point a dealer. But the new proposed, which is the grocery, is more in line with the use and then surrounding of the zoning and the use of the property, and then definitely that communication is going to be as part of the service that this business is going to give to the community as well.
All right. Thank you for that.
No problem.
I don't have any other questions. I'll ask my colleagues if they do. Yes, Mr. Marziari.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have 2 questions, actually. So my first question is, this application is there's no zoning variance for this. This has been submitted through waiver, correct?
Yes.
And my second question, so you know that if there's any further variance, you have to come back to the committee, such as number of parking space or size of loading area?
This is the continuous of the lawfully non-conforming use of the site. So this one was already this application was already submitted to the zoning department, and the way that they read, it was not according to the code to the bylaw. So there will be no zoning requirement or deficiency on the zoning that is going back to the committee. So that with the change of the use and then hopefully with the approval today, all the use and then everything that is existing in the site is just continue the way it was. Just the use is changing.
Okay, thanks. And my second question is, you have to go through site plan application for this development?
No, because the addition is substantially smaller than the existing, and then it doesn't have impact to the surrounding and the site. The way that the staff report was written was very accurate, so there is no site plan application required. Everything that is as part of the condition coming, like a TTC condition or the transportation, is going to be as part of the approval and an agreement of the Committee of Adjustment, and then it goes through to the planning, the building department for the building permit for the addition.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Yes, Mr. Nipville.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Could you explain what exists along the south property line between you and the condominium? Is there a fence? And your site plan shows a lot of tree stamps. Is your proposal to put substantial planting in the triangular spaces left over from the parking?
So as you see, there's the zigzag line in the southern side of the property. Those is going to be vegetarian and then planting in order to provide a green barrier with the condominium at the south. There is an existing fence at the south that is going to be replaced, and then it's going to be a new fence with a height that the bylaw is permitted, and then that area is going to be completely maintained.
Is there a drawing that indicates what planting is being proposed along that south property?
No, it's going to be as part of the building permit and then the landscaping plan.
And it can't be picked up at site plan control? Because you're not going through site plan approval?
No, we are not going to the site plan control.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, I think we can take this into committee.
I just,
Yes.
I have the planner on this application, Mr. Brian Parker. That was we were communicating with the Committee of Adjustment and planning staff very closely to make sure that we are covering everything. So if you don't mind, he has some comment on this application, if he can speak as well.
Is this the planner, your planner?
Yes, our planner.
All right. I mean, if you insist, I don't think we need to, but if they would like to. Do we have any other speakers on this item?
If they want to approve the plan as a condition, so that they secure the fence, because they're a little concerned there's no site plan approval.
Yeah.
Okay. They won't.
So, if he can talk or.
If you'd like to,
Okay.
it's his opportunity. It's your time. I don't want to take away your time.
Hi, thank you. It's Brian Parker here on behalf of the owner. I'm a registered planner. I wrote the planning justification report that the director commented on.
Before you get going, your address for us. For the
my
record.
address. It's 133 Marlborough, and I
Okay.
can spell that MARLBOROUGH, Marlborough Avenue, Toronto.
Okay.
Post-
And
postal code?
your submission?
I'm sorry?
You have some comments to make on the file?
I just wanted to be clear. Our view is that this application does not constitute a substantial increase in the usability of the land. That's one of the sort of thoughts that the planning division put to you, one of the tests that you need to be satisfied on. Mm-hmm. And because site plan approval is not going to apply, we'd be comfortable if you were to approve these plans, our plans, and make them a condition of the approval of this application today, so that you can secure the landscaping, the fencing, the attributes of the site.
Okay.
Okay, so.
All right.
But I
members,
think
do
the principle of land use, the conversion from auto repair to grocery is not has not been contested by the
Yeah,
planning.
we're only dealing with that today. So the other items that may be part of that process, whether or not they're triggered, I'll leave that for, I'm not going to get too far, but I'll let my members comment on that.
Understood.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, thank you. All right, let's take this into committee now. Sir, you can step down from the podium. Thank you. Mr. Maggiari?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I think it's a straightforward application. It's a common use along Shepherd Avenue East. There are many precedents along Shepherd, and I think it's a supportable application. So I'd like to put forward a motion to approve this application, subject to transportation condition and also TTC condition.
All right, do I have a seconder? Mr. Bartolo seconds that motion. All in favor? That's unanimous. You have your approval.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks for coming down today. All right. Item number 3, 28 Chatsworth Drive. The purpose of this application is to legalize and maintain the pool cabana in the rear yard and the front and rear yard landscaping. 3 variances required: front yard soft landscaping, rear yard soft landscaping, and rear yard setback for an ancillary building. On file material from the applicant, letter of concern from 26 Chatsworth Drive, a report from community planning, and a letter of support from 27 Chatsworth Drive. I see, yes, all right. Mr. Higgins, welcome back.
Thank you for having me back. I am Peter Higgins of Peter Higgins Architect Incorporated, 69 Douglas Drive, Toronto, Mary 4W2 Bob 2. Mr. Chairman, you mentioned that there was a letter of support from 27 Chatsworth. I think you mean Cheriton.
Oh, thank you for that clarification. Yes, I might have.
So that neighbor is very important because that is the only neighbor affected by the cabana setback. That neighbor is immediately in the rear of 28 Chatsworth, and the positioning of the cabana was discussed with them, and they had no problem with it then before it was built and have no problem with it now. I believe you're also referring to the neighbor on Chatsworth who has no issue with the right-of-way. I believe that letter was submitted, even though the right-of-way is not part of this discussion. So I'm just going to ask, have the members been able to read our letter, our summary background letter? Because it really explains everything, and I don't want to have to rehash it all. There was transparency right from the beginning. We're well-known architects. We took this through Committee of Adjustment 5 years ago and received approval for the design that was built. And I wanted to make sure you understood that the conditions on that approval in 2020 had to do with length and depth as it related to the below grade living space below the terrace, and the west elevation showed that very clearly, as did the site plan. So the reason the site plan is tied in, as we recall and we believe, is that so that you're given a length and depth variance that didn't allow you to build further above grade. So the zoning examiner, we believe, misunderstood that, in that to build substantially in accordance with that site plan, et cetera, he was saying it had to do with the landscaping, and we believe it did not. Now, the crux of the matter seems to be the artificial turf, which the city, and we realize that as architects that the city doesn't allow it. However, my client went ahead without engaging us during the landscape process. I would have warned him that artificial turf was not typically allowed, even though the city itself allows this very same turf and uses this turf, as do colleges, universities, and school boards throughout Toronto. And it is fully permeable. So our argument is that if it was allowed to be considered as soft landscaping, our numbers would be very skewed in favor of this being a very minor application, minor variance application. And I have witnessed Mr. Waters with a hose pouring water at a great rate onto the front lawn, and the water disappears. It's full gravel and soil below the substrate, and no water pools on this. So we would like you to understand that there was no intention here to do the wrong thing. My client did go at our suggestion. The landscape designer went to zoning, submitted drawings to zoning. Those came back with no variances noted. My client didn't go through the building permit process for the cabana. They should have, they didn't. But in trying to close out the permit, we became involved again to try to help figure out what's happened and how we can deal with this. We spoke to the planner at least 3 times, a very nice gentleman. We just agreed to disagree that the turf should be considered permeable. That's the most important point. And back to the cabana, it's 1 story. There's no eave protrusion. There is no peak. It's a flat roof with planned for soft landscaping. And since the neighbor immediately behind has no objection, we would hope that you would accept the fact that the average of the setback on the rear, because of the angle of the rear property line, does not quite match the required amount, but is substantially greater than the 0.3 or 1 foot setback of the one corner. Just because I have these on my notes and I think they're applicable, the planner was also noting the width of the driveway. The width of the driveway is essentially the same as the garage doors, but it does flare slightly to allow the stair landing to come down and turn to the driveway. Chatsworth is a one-way street from Yonge westbound. It's very heavily traveled, particularly at rush hour, morning and evening. I use it all the time as a cut through to get to Avenue Road and the 401. And as such, you're trying to back out of a driveway onto traffic that's coming at a fair rate of speed, one way, and you're also uphill. So it's hard to see the cars coming. A little bit of a flare at the front by the sidewalk makes good sense, and this is a safety factor. There's a condo being built right across the street. There's going to be even more traffic there in the future. So we believe that this proposal is in fact minor, and I'll just give you the numbers. I believe we reiterated them in our note.
Very quickly, Mr. Gibbons, just because we're over our 5.
Yes, I will. The front yard would be 71.45% soft landscaping versus the required 75. The rear yard would be 41.5 versus the required 50. And under that front yard, the tricky part there is, and the planner alluded to this being one of the deepest lots on Chatsworth, and so we should be able to meet the requirements. Well, because of the location of the old driveway and the present driveway for the reconstructed house, it's on the east side of the property. The property splays that way, so there's a lot more driveway in the calculations because that is on the east side of the property versus a much smaller amount of soft landscaping on the west side of the property. So it's just kind of an unfair way of having to come up with our calculations, but they work against us. They work for the hard landscaping and against the soft landscaping.
All right, I'm gonna have to stop you there. I'm sure that my colleagues may have a question or two. Yes, Mr. Nitfill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Higgins, could we get the site plan on the screen again? The area that you've noticed as grass is in fact astroturf, is that, or artificial turf, is that correct? And that's what the inspector saw.
That's
So
correct.
he wouldn't have known that it was artificial turf, he would have taken it as grass. So, and he didn't identify any variances relative to landscaping.
Well, he didn't, no, he did not.
Okay, so if you were to remove the artificial turf from the rear yard and the front yard, would you need variances 1 and 2?
Yes,
Why?
because you would, the numbers would be,
The 70,
as I said, 71.45, so close on the front yard. The rear yard would be 41.5.
and that's because of the large patio area in the rear yard.
That's the large patio area, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions? Okay, just give us a moment, Mr. Higgins. We've just came with the technical difficulty. My system just went down, but we should be right back up. Yeah, sure. All right, and while staff are, we're just getting myself back online. Members, do we have any other questions for Mr. Higgins?
Could you just, sorry to ask you to do this, could you give me the landscaping percentages that you would have if that was grass? You just gave them to me and I didn't write them down. Front yard and backyard.
Front yard, 71.45% versus required 75%.
Okay, and the rear yard?
Rear, 41.5 versus the required 50.
Thank you very much.
Here we go. Okay. We got those figures, Mr. Nithill? Okay. All right, thank you, Mr. Higgins. Really appreciate it. And thank you for coming down. Good to see you again.
Thank you.
Let's take this into committee. Mr. Nithill?
I'll start it off, Mr. Chairman. I really don't have any difficulty with the variance number 3, the setback relative to the cabana, particularly given the neighbor behind, which is the person or the property that's most affected doesn't have an objection. I do, however, have a lot of difficulty with the two variances 1 and 2, using artificial turf, and the percentages I just don't think are acceptable. I think and I take Mr. Higgins' point that this wasn't done on purpose, not that that would really make a difference, but I think that the applicant is responding in good faith. I'd be more inclined to suggest that variance number 1, I'd be prepared to recommend approval if variance number 1 was altered to 71.45% and variance number 2 was altered to 41.5%. It's not quite at the level of the bylaw, but I think in this case it's reasonable.
Mr. Bartolo?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. I think I'm inclined to agree with my colleague. It seems like the applicant did try and do things in good faith, maybe got some bad advice, maybe made some incorrect submissions to the city and didn't get the required permits properly. Fine, that has happened. I think a reasonable middle ground to make all of this right is to proceed exactly like Mr. Nimfeld stated.
We have a motion, see where it goes.
You're good.
Sure. All right, through you, Mr. Chair, I will put forward a motion to approve this application subject to the following revisions. That variance number 1 be amended to 71.45% for the front yard landscaping. Variance number 2 be amended to 41.5% for the rear yard landscaping, and variance number 3 be approved as is.
Okay, do I have a seconder by Mr. Nipfel? All in favor? Okay, that's unanimous. The application is approved as modified.
Thank you very much for your
Thank you,
time.
Mr. Higgins. All right. Staff members, 5-minute relief break at this time. We'll resume at 11:05. All right, we are back. We just finished item number 3. Item number 4 has been deferred. We've dealt with that. And now we are on item number 5, 4630 Yonge Street. The purpose of this application is to modify the existing convenience store through interior alterations and permit a restaurant use. 2 variances requested, one related to the change of use and one related to signage. On file of material from the applicant, 3 letters of objection, including number 16, 1502 Harrison Garden Boulevard, and 11 Cameron Avenue. Do we have our agent with us?
Good morning, committee members. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
My name is Blair Gagno from IGP Realty Advisors. We're agent for the applicant Suncor Energy. Our address is 19 Galsworthy Avenue, Toronto.
All right, staff, can we confirm we have another party as well on this item? Okay. Mr. Gagon, I will get the 5 minutes up for you. I request a brief presentation, and we may have some questions after for you as well, whenever you're ready.
Certainly, thank you. So simply, the application is to allow for the restaurant use inside the existing building. So there's no building addition. It's interior renovation of the building for the purposes of adding roughly 53 square meters of restaurant space for walk-in coolers, kitchen preparation, and delivery of the product across the counter and through the walk-up window. We will be adding earth bin, refuse, and recycling bins in front of the existing refuge storage facility and turning that into dry storage. It's our position, members of the committee, that this use is consistent with the Yonge Street corridor, the official plan, and as such, it is minor in nature. We have reviewed the 3 objection letters, and I would suggest that 2 of the 3 I don't think are in reference to what is being proposed here. One of them specifically makes reference to a proposed high-rise development at this corner, which is not what this development application is. I will say that we did have a pre-consultation application with planning staff at the very beginning of this process. They determined that a site plan application process was not required and that we needed to address simply the zoning non-compliant restaurant use for this specific C1 designation.
All right.
The last piece is the rear yard along Cameron Avenue is board privacy fenced, and there is significant mature plantings of trees.
Okay, thank you for that submission. We have another speaker online.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, my name is Gary Shim, resident of 11 Cameron Avenue, which is directly adjacent to the gas station. So I do have several concerns with regards to this project. It's really an escalation of the existing issues that currently are there already. The agent has referenced the green space between the gas station and my residence. There is foliage there. However, they have pruned or cut down trees that are looking directly in from the gas station's parking lot. at an elevated elevation. People can actually stand right by the fence and look into my backyard. The foliage that was once there has been pruned, and it doesn't really prohibit anybody standing there and looking into my backyard. So that's one in terms of privacy. The other concerns that I have is it's a very highly trafficked area. It's right above the 401, so you have a lot of traffic, cars going through there, and it's a great location for a gas station. So I'm concerned that putting a restaurant in there will increase the noise pollution. People coming to the gas station, loitering around, eating the food in that green space, because we've lots of people walk through that green space and just loiter around, right? In terms of the garbage disposal that was proposed, also concerned that homeless people will actually be rummaging through there. A great example of it, just two blocks north, there's an Esso gas station, and homeless people are there all the time, right? So just in terms of the safety, the traffic and the privacy, and as well as the increased deliveries, really concerns me in terms of the noise and disturbance to my family.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Shim, you noted some concern with respect to sightlines in your backyard.
Yes.
Where would somebody on the applicant's property, so at the gas station, where would that sightline exist?
That sightline exists right by there's a bit of a little parking area with the garbage disposable area to the, if you look, it's kind of difficult to see here.
Staff have got the site plan up.
Yeah. So you can see the existing parking area there, right? There's a concrete walkway, and then there's the green space right behind it. Right where it sort of elbows in that corner there, it says external Sandy Max tank there.
Yeah.
My property borders, there's a fence there.
How tall is the fence?
The fence is standard height. However, the elevation on the gas station side is higher, so it's actually shorter from a height perspective.
Are there any platforms back there that would elevate a person above the fence to look into your backyard?
There is a brick platform there, and if you're over, I would say, 5 feet tall, you can look right into there. Now there are some trees there, but they've been pruned, and some have actually been cut down.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, thank you. Let's go back to the agent. I want to give him an opportunity to respond to some of the things that were brought up by the immediate neighbor.
Thank you, members of the committee, and thank you to the neighbor for bringing their concerns forward. From the perspective of the use, this use is consistent with the corridor and the area. In fact, across the street on Cameron Avenue has been restaurants in the past, and I don't think that's unusual for this strip of Yonge Street. From the perspective of the pollution or the concern of security and safety in his backyard, specifically as it relates to that area to the west of the existing parking area, we would certainly entertain to put in some coniferous trees there, which obviously then on an annual basis would provide a better screening, because you'll note in some of the pictures that we provided, there does appear to be a void area there, and we would be certainly prepared to provide some coniferous trees there to provide some additional privacy. Concerning the refuse system, it's a much more up-to-date version of the old bin system where homeless and others would attempt to get into the garbage system. So it's designed to do a better job.
All right. I'll ask you the same question that I asked the immediate neighbor. In that concrete walkway, staff, if you just zoom out on that site plan, is it intended that that this restaurant use is going to is anybody dining back there? Are there tables back there? Are you building a platform back there? Like, my understanding from looking at this, who would be going back there on the concrete walkway typically? Would you have customers back there?
No. So that the purpose of the concrete walkway is to be able to exit vehicles, for example, and for staff to be able to meet or get to the refuse system, which is to the left of that existing parkway. So to the garbage and recycling you see there.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I don't have any other questions. Colleagues, do you have questions? Mr. Nipfel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Could you clarify I understand that this is a change in use and it's a minor change, but the one area that does appear that would change is that triangle that we were just talking about. Could you clarify, because I'm not clear, you're removing bollards and the pad, what's going in its place? You've got convert the existing refuge enclosure to dry storage. What is actually going to be there? And then are the recycling bins that are shown on your site plan, are they staying? I'm trying to identify what is going to actually happen where the dotted lines are about this new system. Is there a structure there? If so, how big is it?
Certainly.
And then is there still the garbage recycling bins?
Okay, so certainly. So today, the garbage and recycling is in that storage shed. It has a roll-up door, and then the bins are moved out for the purposes of collection. That will be converted to dry storage for things such as pop, water, things which are not perishable, things which are dry for the restaurant and convenience store use.
And that's
today, all of that is
a
inside.
building, correct? So that's a building.
That's a building, correct.
How big is it? How high?
It's roughly 9 square meters.
Okay, and it's where the dotted lines show.
Correct.
Thank you.
In front of that dry storage area, which was the previous refuse system, we will be putting in earth bins. It's a product that allows recessed bins, one for garbage and one for recycling, which are picked up much like garbage bins. They are plastic rubberized in nature, and they are recessed, so they would be sitting in front of that existing refuge storage area.
Okay, thank you very much for clarifying.
All right.
You're welcome.
Other questions? Okay. Thank you. Let's take this into committee now. Mr. Bartolo.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. In reviewing this application, I don't really see any issues with it. They're not adding any space to the gas station. Restaurant use is pretty consistent in the area. It's on a main thoroughfare. Looks like they're handling the waste in an appropriate manner with, frankly, better containers than what they have now. So I'm prepared to support this application.
Other comments?
If there's no comments, I'll put forward a motion to approve this application.
Okay, do I have a seconder? Second by Mr. Kibu. All in favor? That is unanimous. That application is approved.
Thank you, members of the committee. Appreciate your review.
All right, item number 6, 281 Davisville Avenue. The purpose of this application is to construct a 3-story fourplex and 2-story laneway suite. Variances for rear yard landscaping area, east side yard setback for a platform, front yard setback, east side yard setback, west side yard setback, building depth, setback for a rear exit stair, setback for front exterior stair, front yard soft landscaping, platform encroachment into a front yard setback, building height, front and rear exterior main wall height, and building length of a laneway suite. On file material from the applicant, a report from community planning, we received a late letter of support with multiple signatures from area residents. Welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and committee members and staff. My name is Christian Chan. I'm the agent on behalf of the applicant. My address is 157 Adelaide Street West, Toronto, Ontario. And I'd just like to address a number of variances. There were active discussions between myself and Sina Sakaria of Community Planning, which resulted in a number of revisions and deletions, in fact, to the variances list. And I provided, and up on your screen here too, sir, is the revisions, and is also reflected in the planning staff report that was submitted last week of the modifications and the deletions to the variances. So the list is contained in the staff report for the revisions. If you'd like me to go through them, sir, I can certainly do that.
Typically, we go through all of the variances from the public notice, but just before we do that, so everybody's on the same page, if I understand correctly, the modifications are in line with the recommendations noted in the community planning staff report, as well as the revised list of variances that were submitted. It's essentially a markup to the public notice, where you've noted what changed, what's changing, what's being revised, and what's being deleted.
That is correct, sir, yes.
Okay, and that is in line with the community planning recommendations?
That is correct. All for the item number 11 on the planning staff report with respect to the front yard soft landscaping, which I can go into in my presentation.
Okay, so there is one discrepancy?
Yes, that item number 11 that you see on your screen from the planning staff report, that is something that was new to me when I accessed the staff report when it was sent to me by staff last week at the deadline. And that's an item that wasn't discussed between myself and community planning, so that's news to me, and that's something that I'll address in my presentation, sir.
Okay, very well. So staff can record the modifications using the public notice, which we'll get up on the screen. Take us through each of the variances and let us know what, if any, modifications are being proposed.
Yes, so as we can see here, variance number 1, there's no change with respect to the rear yard soft landscaping area in between the proposed lane suite and the proposed fourplex.
Okay.
The next item would be the platform encroachment to the east side yard, and since the plans were revised, and you should have a copy of those dated August 17th, 2025, that variance number 2 has been revised to reflect the increase in the side yard, the east side yard setback of the proposed fourplex. Variance number 3 with respect to the front yard setback, because of some plan revisions, even though it's a very minor change, a revision to the requested front yard setback, it's going from 0.35 to 0.535 to 5.36.
Okay.
The variance number 4 is revised. That's reflective of discussions we've had.
Just give us the changes. Don't worry about the rationale at this point.
So that's a 0.45 from 0.15.
Okay.
Variance number 5, there's no change.
Okay.
To the west side setback. Variance number 6 is deleted because in discussion.
Doesn't matter. It's deleted.
Okay.
Next one.
Number 7 is deleted. Number 8 is deleted. And number 9, sir, is no change.
Yeah.
And number 10 is revised. And then variance number 11.
What's the revision on 10?
The revision on number 10 was, or is the encroachment of the front platform to the required east side yard setback. That's also reflective of the increase of the fourplexes.
What's the numerical change for staff? It's just right now we're just doing, this is more clerical, We're just getting all of the changes. We can get into the discussion of planning rationale after.
Understood, sir. So the numerical changes from 0.39 to 0.84 for the required setback to the east for the platform.
Okay. I also note on your submission, the platform encroaches 1.9 meter into the required front yard setback and is 0.84 meters to the east side lot line. So there's two changes to that?
There's two changes that, however, that's not reflected in what was provided in the planning staff report. They just mentioned one of the dimensions, the 0.84, but
that's the deviation from staff. Okay, we'll get to number 10, right?
Okay, and then number 11 for height, going from 11.54 to 11 meters.
Yep.
Revision for number 12 to front and rear main wall height from 9.5 to 8.96.
Yep.
And then deletion of variance number 13 for the laneway suite, which is now compliant.
All right. Staff, did we capture all that? I know you have it on the revised, but for good measure, we're supposed to have it on the record?
Yes.
There's still the one.
Which one is it?
Oh, from staff, the deviation?
He said he didn't have it. He just got it. He didn't have a chance to.
Yes, this would be the front yard soft landscaping, variance
Right.
number 9.
I see. Okay.
And are you amending that, or is that staying?
So staff have recommended in the report to go to 60% from the proposed 45, but that's something I would like to discuss.
Okay. We will address that. Okay. We've got the modifications. I think given frankly, the number of variances and modifications, a presentation would be helpful. I also think my colleagues may, some of that rationale may be provided through some questioning that we may have. So you may not need a full presentation, but I want to, just to get the ball rolling, let's get the clock up. And I want to give you the floor.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. The site has a frontage of 6.10 meters, so it's below the standard lot depth of 4412 meters and a lot area of 269.04 square meters. It's zoned in the R zone, neighborhoods designation. Taking a look at the neighborhood housing context, this neighborhood, Mount Pleasant East and Ward 15, has a lower percentage of renter households to consider. The proposal is for a rental fourplex, a rental lane suite. With respect to the variances, I'll go into revised variance number 2 for the rear exit staircase. If I can ask staff to go to the site plan in the rear yard and show the staircase, that'd be great for the latest plan submitted. So the platform encroachment is revised to 0.63. The impact of this variance, in my opinion, is minor, as the platforms that are referred to in the variance are those that are for stair landings on the rear exit stairs and do not function as a deck or patio. They're not usable space. They're also designed with porous metal grates, so sunlight will be able to go through this, as well as rain. And also, in terms of massing, it doesn't appear as a mass a portion of building mass because of its design. I've seen how the applicants have constructed other multiplexes with these rear staircases, and light goes through them. With regards to the front yard soft landscaping, city planning has recommended that front yard soft landscaping be revised to 60%. I would just like to advise the committee that the variance number 9 is still continue to be sought. Oh, sorry, I jumped ahead. Sorry. So
That's okay.
Revised variance number 3. The front yard setback. The proposed front yard setback is less than 10 centimeters than the required front yard setback. It's reduced by 7 centimeters to accommodate the fourplex. As can be seen on the site plan here, the adjacent homes have front porches that in fact project beyond what is being proposed. With regards to variance number 4, the east side yard setback has been revised to 0.45 meters, and since there are no openings on the east main wall, this is in fact compliant with the bylaw. However, the variance remains to be sought, and just for belts and suspenders, I would not like to delete that variance. It is 0.45 compliant. For the variance number 5, the west side yard setback is being triggered by the fact that there are openings and windows for the basement and ground floor and second floor units of the proposed fourplex. If I can ask staff to go to the west elevation, or east elevation, sorry. The fourplex would otherwise comply with the 0.45 west side yard if there were no openings. So in terms of the massing impacts, would have the same impact as a fourplex without openings. These openings are provided at the lower stories. With respect to the front yard landscaping, now finally getting into it, so planning has recommended front yard soft landscaping be revised to 60%, but I have to advise the committee that the front yard hardscaping elements are designed of pathway widths in order to comply with OBC for accessibility. The basement walk-up unit is an accessible unit in the development, and the basement walk-up, which you see on your screen there, is where a accessible wheelchair elevator is going to go. And so these permeable walkways are 1.1 meter compliant, and should this be increased to 60%, then the ability of those accessible walkways compliant with the OBC minimum widths would not be possible. So this is something I would like the committee to consider with respect to the variance for front yard soft landscaping. With regards to variance number 10, this is for the front platform, so it's the front porch that you see there on your screen on the top. This is reflective in an encroachment decrease in the encroachment to the east side yard because of the the modification of the east side yard setback. The front platform also is not going to be used as a social or livable areas. It's an entrance front porch to one of the units in the proposed fourplex. With respect to revised variance number 11 with the proposed fourplex's height at 11 meters, it's 1 meter over the permitted maximum height for a fourplex. This along with the main wall height was originally discussed. The original variance for 11.54 was discussed with planning staff, and they recommended a reduction in height, and they were satisfied with 11 meter height for the fourplex, as well as the reduction in the main wall height to 8.96 meters. If I can ask staff to go to either of the side elevations on the screen. The reduction in the impact of the height increase that is being sought is mitigated by the pitched roofs at both the front and rear main walls, which is a design that has been influenced by yourself, Mr. Allison, on previous fourplex applications that my designers have taken into account to implement. And I think there's one more variance with regards to the laneway suite, if I can ask for a brief indulgence. The proposed rear yard landscaping areas is 77.6% in between the lane suite and the fourplex. If I could ask staff to go to the site plan. There, again, just in speaking to the soft landscaping reductions, yes, in the front yard, and in my opinion, a minor 7.4% reduction in the soft landscaping area between the laneway suite and the fourplex. However, we also have the lane suite being increased over the permitted minimum to the rear laneway at 2.65 meters to increase soft landscaping in the rear yard, which in fact, interestingly, because there's a laneway suite, is not accounted for soft landscaping, but a new tree is proposed to be planted in that space as well.
Just be mindful of the clock. Final words. Here we're good?
I think that's it, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right. Let's, right now, we have some other speakers, but before we get to them, I'll ask members if they have any questions. Mr. Bartolo?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. For the agent here, 2 questions. I just want to provide a summary. So with regards to front yard landscaping, it's my understanding from what you've said here today that it's not possible because for your porches, stairs, and ramps to be Ontario Building Code compliant, you need to consume that space to achieve that, correct?
Yes, typically if there weren't an accessible unit proposed in the fourplex, namely that basement unit, then the permeable walkways could be a narrower width. But since a wheelchair accessible unit is being proposed in the basement, there's a requirement for a minimum 1.1 meter walkway. Also like to note to the committee too that all walkways and hardscape elements other than the stairs are proposed to be as permeable pavers to continue to allow water infiltration into the soil. And of course that basement walk-up portion, the sunken patio to accommodate the wheelchair lift also takes up some landscape areas in the front yard too that would otherwise make the front yard compliant.
I see. So in order to accommodate the wheelchair accessibility, you have to consume some of that landscaping, and to mitigate that, you've proposed permeable walkways throughout. Is that correct?
That is correct, sir, yes.
Okay. And then with respect to landscaping, again, are you oversupplied in any other areas, such as the rear portion of the main building between the garden suite or anywhere else?
So if I could ask staff to go to that portion in the rear yard on the site plan. So that portion in between the laneway suite and the fourplex, if you can scroll a little bit to the left there, just show both building forms. Okay, sorry, sir. So yes, you can see there, this is the 77.60 soft landscaping in between the lane suite and the fourplex. However, those exterior stairs that you see, they aren't solid stairs as in like in terms of there's no water or sunlight that can go through them. They're in fact going to be comprised of metal grates. And below those exterior stairs is going to be comprised of soft landscaping, but once the zoning examiner calculates it, they won't calculate it as soft landscaping because it's covered by a staircase element.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But it would
'Cause
otherwise
if I refer to the west elevation, I can see the stair layout, and so you're saying underneath those stairs is going to be landscape area where water can penetrate. It's just when you look in plan view, it doesn't reflect like that.
That's correct. And also to add to that, sir, the portion of the south end of the lane suite going into the lane, that also is an increase in soft landscaping in the rear yard as well.
I see. Okay, that answers my questions. Thank you.
Could you explain where's the bin storage for garbage, and how do those bins get from wherever they're proposed to the street?
Yes, so the bin pickup on Davisville Avenue, it is a collector road, so that's why there's, the laneway in the rear of the property is used for garbage collection. So the intent of increasing that rear setback of the lane suite to 2.52 meters, that's 1 meter over the permitted minimum setback, is to allow for waste storage on that portion, as well as to account for an eventual lane widening that the city would ask for, because under the official plan policies, the lane widening is to be 6 meters. So there's going to be a portion of the lands that's going to be taken away, and wanted to contain on-site some space available to have the rolling waste receptacles stored in that area as well.
So the garbage pickup is actually from the laneway, or it's optional, both laneway and the main road?
It's in the laneway because it's a collector road with a bus route, so the garbage collection would interfere.
I got it. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. Okay. Mr. Nipfel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chan, could you explain what, if anything, you've done to mitigate the visual intrusion of that stairway? That's a large visual item to suddenly turn up in the property next door. Have you got any kind of screening along the sides of it? Something like a trellis that would contain plant materials or something to reduce its visual impact?
If I can ask staff to go to the elevations, I don't believe they're indicated on the plans, but should the committee decide to approve this application, I would be happy to have a condition to have minimum 1.5 meter opaque privacy screening. That has been applied to in other applications that have been before you on similar multiplex designs.
So where would that occur? You mean along the entire?
So typically, sir, they would appear along the platforms of the staircases. That has what has been provided as a condition of other approvals for similar designs, so that there's no overlook from the platforms themselves.
As an alternative, you wouldn't prefer something like an open trellis work attached to the whole side of the structure with planting on it?
I think that would look absolutely wonderful, sir, and if that's a condition to apply as well, as a form of privacy screening, we'd be happy to have that as a condition.
Thank you.
Other questions? Okay. Mr. Chan, you could step down. I'd like to hear from, I think there's some other people that came down today to speak to this item. Is there anybody here in person? All right, staff, we have some people online.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we unmuted Kimberly Silk. You can talk.
Ms. Silk?
Hello.
Hello.
I'm neighbor of 281.
Your name and address?
Are you calling me? I'm not sure if you're calling me.
Yes, you are the next neighbor. You can introduce yourself by giving us your name and address.
Oh, hello. Good morning, everyone. Our names are Sam and Bonnie, and we are the neighbor of the immediate adjacent property. And our address is 279 Davisville Avenue. If we may request for a deferral of this application, because it's a huge project, as you can see, and there's a lot of variation in regards to the land and distance. So being the immediate neighbor of this huge project, being 5 units in total, we were just notified just a little over a week ago from today. And we've been having difficulty accessing the online details of these 5 units.
All right, Miss, I'm just going to pause you there because you put in a request for deferral. I'm going to give an opportunity to hear from everybody today, but I just want to deal with this. I want to deal with this deferral request at the onset before we get into any further merits in the application. Let's call the applicant back up. I just want to get a response from him with respect specifically to the request for deferral.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would not like to entertain a deferral request. I'd like to proceed today.
Great. That's all I need to hear.
Thank you.
Okay, going back to the applicant, the agent would like to proceed. I will ask my members whether or not they would support a deferral request. But typically, deferrals are granted at the request of an applicant or where the process has not been followed. I haven't received any indication from city staff that there have been any issues with respect to the process, whether it be posting the sign or sending out the public notice. And I don't have any reason from the agent the agent wishes to proceed today. So I will ask my members. But I don't, frankly, personally, I don't see any reason to defer this. So let's perhaps, you know what, let's go into committee. I know this is a little unorthodox, but let's deal with the deferral request. We have a deferral request. Is there any reason or anybody willing to support this deferral request based on the reasons provided? Mr. Kabu?
Yes, Mr. Chair, thank you. Procedurally, I don't see any reasons why we should defer, or the neighbor did not provide any substance or reasons why we should defer this motion. And I understand the applicant made a strong presentation a while ago, and maybe some of the neighbors may have concerns, but I'm not willing to support a deferral request at this point.
Okay. Is any members willing to put a motion for deferral at this time? No. Okay. Taking us out of committee, staff, we can go back to the neighbor, Ms. Silk. It doesn't look like we're going to have a deferral of this matter, but I would like to provide you an opportunity to provide some comment if you have specific concerns about the application.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Ms. Silk.
Oh, hello. Sorry. Yeah. My name is Bonnie. I'm the owner of 279 Davisville. I just had a quick question about the garage, because our garage is attached to 281's garage, which will be built a backlane suite. So can we get more information on how that's going to affect our garage?
Absolutely. So I can just explain a little bit how this process works. So you're providing us some testimony now, some comment with respect to your concerns over the application. Members are listening, and after all of the parties have spoken, I'm going to go back to the agent, and we're going to ask him to address the comments that the others have raised. So do you understand that?
Sure. Okay, thank you.
So we've got some concern with respect to the setback of the garage, the neighbor noting that their existing garage, I presume, is constructed to the property line, so they would be detached and abutting. So there's some concern there from the neighbor. Are there other concerns that you would wish to bring up at this time?
And we're not quite sure if the building is too close to our property.
Okay, so there's some concerns with respect to there may be some concerns with respect to the setback, the side yard setback.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
All right. Anything else you would like us to consider?
And so how frequent the garbage will be removed? Because we share the back lane, and we just want to make sure the garbage disposal is not causing the overcrowdedness of the back lane to the neighbors.
All right. So the frequency of garbage removal, is that it?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right, staff, we have members, any questions for our neighbor? None. Okay, staff, we have another speaker.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we unmuted Kimberly Silk again. Hopefully she can talk.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. My name is Jeffrey Veffer. I'm a resident at 289 Davisville. Kimberly Silk is had to leave for a doctor's appointment, so I'm able to speak on her behalf.
All right.
And yep, I just have one concern regarding the height of the applicant's design. Generally, on the street, that most of the residences are two-story, and I believe that that height would be setting a precedent, at least for that stretch of the street, and I believe would be a little out of place with the general streetscape in that area. So I would like to hear how the applicant would address that.
All right. Okay, thank you. And Mr. Pfeffer, did you give us an address for the record?
Yep, 289 Davisville.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, any questions? Okay, staff, we have another speaker.
I was just unmuted. My name's David Granitstein, and I'm at 386 Balliol Street, so across the laneway neighbor.
All right.
So along with Jeff Pfeffer, this current building is actually one of the tallest ones on the street. You probably have the exact details if it is actually the tallest ones, but it looks like it will be taller. So I've got a concern with that. The density in the area, so the space between the main building and the laneway suite seems to be too small. So we already get lots of water and other, snow and things like that in the laneway, which makes it really hard to navigate. Unfortunately, as you know, laneways aren't a priority in terms of snow clearing. So I don't know how they're going to deal with extra traffic with garbage in there as well. But it also just prevents water from being absorbed naturally, so it will get funneled out into the laneway. Additionally, with 5 units, that's a lot of people. I would love to think that everyone's riding their bikes and walking, but my guess is they're going to have cars. Curious to know where those cars will be parked with no garage or laneway space for parking. Already the neighborhood, like most of Old Toronto, is inundated with cars with on-street parking. The laneway itself has too many cars. We've got some neighbors who park their cars outside of their garage, narrowing the laneway even more. Because their unit is kind of at the entrance to the lane, it also creates additional impact because of the snow. And when the snow needs to be cleared out, it is a one-way lane, a dead-end lane. So all the snow has to be collected from the end and pushed all the way forward. So with more and more people there, potentially putting their cars in the lane behind the laneway house, it's going to create additional traffic and congestion, especially if there is, I didn't realize that garbage was going to be picked up from that location in the laneway. Every time a big truck comes by, it knocks down the bell wires and the Rogers wires. It's just not set up for trucks. So I'm curious as to how it will mitigate, or how the developer is going to mitigate the extra volume in the laneway, the extra density, the lack of green space for absorption of water. And it looked like they were adding another tree, but it would be nice if there were other trees added as well, because it is taking over a very large portion of our sightlines. And because it's already one of the tallest buildings, it's blocking more and more of everyone else's view.
Okay, thank you. Questions? All right. Staff, any more speakers? We do. We have another speaker.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we unmuted Bonnie. You can speak.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah. I have just sorry. I have just raised my question through another speaker from the cell phone.
Very well. Okay.
Okay.
So
thank you.
no comment today.
Yeah. No comment from this line, but I've raised my questions through the cell phone just about 2.5 minutes ago.
Okay. Very good.
Thank
All right.
you.
Staff, any other speakers? Okay. Let's go back to our agent, Mr. Chan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate the comments from the neighbors. Just like to also note that on file that there is a form letter of support from a number of surrounding residents as well. On file, it's submitted to the Committee of Adjustment. With respect to 279 Davisville Avenue's concerns, I would ask staff to kindly go over to the site plan showing the rear yard. And if you can zoom in a bit closer onto the lane suite, I could show the built form relationship. So yes, 279's garage, existing garage, is abutting the property line, as you can see in the bottom of your screen. The proposed lane suite is at a distance of 0.91 meters distant from that garage. You can also see that there is also a garage separation to the garage to the east. A lane suite is permitted to have a 0 meter setback to the side lot lines, and in this case, in order to affect the permeable walkway, there is in fact a setback that's proposed for this lane suite that is completely compliant in terms of built form with the zoning bylaw provisions. In terms of construction concerns with regards to the lane suite, I will ensure that my client and the builder have discussions with the neighbor in order to address their concerns for digging and any sort of structural impacts that it might have to their garage. But these are matters that would be before Toronto Buildings for inspection rather than concerns for construction that would be brought before the committee. With regards to the concerns for the west side yard setback impacting them, if I can ask staff to go over to the fourplex on this site plan, 0.9 meters setback distance is permitted with openings. In this case, there are openings, therefore the variance is sought. But otherwise than that, if there were no openings on that side of the fourplex, then it would comply with the bylaw as 0.45 meters side yard setback, and the built form impacts are unchanged from what could be provided if there were windows on that elevation. 289 Davisville's concern with regards to height. Yes, the existing height context in the immediate context, a term that's provided in Chapter 4.1 of the official plan, is of two-story buildings. What's being proposed is a three-story building with an elevated basement. I'd just like to refer the committee over to OPA 649, also site and area specific policy 826, which is with regard to the multiplex official plan amendment, where it in fact amended the Chapter 4.1.5 policies with regards to prevailing height, which is what is normally applied in a situation where a development isn't a multiplex, and in this case, the multiplex OPA applies and supersedes the Chapter 4.1.5 policy, specifically citing prevailing heights, where city staff, when they were doing the EHON study and developing the multiplex OPA and zoning bylaw amendment, noted that in many contexts, new multiplexes would not be consistent with the prevailing heights in any or many neighborhoods in the city of Toronto, and therefore the policy was amended to accommodate for the fact that triplexes and fourplexes would seek increases in height over and above what the prevailing heights were in the immediate context. So, and therefore, we worked closely with planning staff when we originally went in with 11.54 meter overall height variance, as well as the 9.5 meter height variance for main wall height, and reduced that based off of discussions with planning staff. With regards to the neighbor to the rear on Beloyal Street, with regards to density, neither the fourplex or the lane suite is seeking any FSI, floor space index increases. In fact, they are excluded from floor space index. because city staff removed these regulations from the zoning bylaw for these types of development in order to ensure that it was going to be form-based rather than a GFA-based metric for fourplex development and lane suites. In my opinion, the 5 units on the site is something that City Council is specifically encouraging through the reduction of development charges, the relaxing of the zoning bylaw provisions for especially rental fourplex and lane suite development throughout the city. And this is an iterative process that has even changed on the end of June with the multiplex monitoring update, which also further amended the zoning bylaw provisions to stimulate this type of development across the city. In terms of the area between the laneway suite and the fourplex, it's compliant with the bylaw with a 7.5 meter separation distance between those two structures. And therefore, my respectful submission to the committee, there are no impacts with regards to the proximity between those two buildings, as it is compliant with the zoning bylaw. With respect to parking, there are no parking spaces required for either the lane suite or the fourplex pursuant to bylaw 89/2022, which amended the parking regulations in the zoning bylaw to remove the requirement for minimum parking for low-rise residential development. I'd also like to note that there is a bus route and bus stops immediately adjacent to or in and around the site, serving bus route 11, bus route 28, as well as Hodgson Public School and community amenities are right across the street. And it's within walking distance of the Davisville MTSA. That's now approved as of August 15th from the province.
Just get you to wrap up. I gave you an extra minute. On your...
Thank you, sir. So with regards to garbage, the applicants have informed me, I had a chat with them, that there is property management. There is snow removal that's going to be provided at any time when there's snow. The garbage is also, I've just been informed as well, it's not just going to be city pickup, it's going to be privately removed through the property management whenever the bins are full, and handle grass and weeds on the property. And I think those are my comments. Also, I would be sure to have the applicant provide contact information to the property manager to the surrounding residents should there any be issues, so they can be directly contacted.
Okay, thank you. Questions right now? Yes, Mr. Nitfeld.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chan, can we explore the external staircase again for a second? Your site plan indicates that there be a privacy screen on the ground floor and the second floor, but not the third floor. You and I talked during your original presentation about an alternative, which I think would be preferable, instead of a solid screen, because I don't know that that's necessary so much as something to kind of ameliorate the visual impact of this entire stair structure. I suggested to you some kind of a trellis with planting might be a reasonable alternative, and I gathered you agreed with that. If that were to be a condition of approval, I would like to explore with you what the wording should be, because I realize we're not designing it here, but we could, without meaning to, end up tying your hands with wording that is so restrictive that unless you do it a particular way, it wouldn't comply. Have you got wording that you would recommend?
I'm just thinking of what the zoning examiners and buildings would be able to receive. We always know that opaque privacy screening is something definitely that they can understand. And in this case, sir,
excuse me for interrupting. What we've been doing recently, and I think it's working well, is we removed the word opaque from that to allow for alternatives rather than a solid fence. And I think that's reasonable because it allows for perforated metal and a number of other alternatives.
Yes, Mr. Niffel, I absolutely agree with you that planting trellis would be more of a visually pleasant rather than opaque privacy screening. So I think the wording that should be used is a privacy screening. It's hard to think about.
Provided on the east side of the staircase, or is it only on the platforms, or what are you recommending?
I would recommend, sir, that we would have it on both the east and west sides of all platforms.
Okay. Thanks. That's helpful.
Other questions? Okay. Thank you very much. We've heard a lot on this file. Mr. Chan, you can step down. Let's take this into committee now. I'll get us started. I just want to bring up one of the variances that came up. There was a modification to a side yard setback variance to increase to 0.45 meters, which I'm supportive of. I'm a little hesitant, though. I think the applicant noted that the variance would not be necessary, but out of caution, they'd like to include it. But what I don't want to permit is that 0.45 meter setback with any window or door openings, given that it's still only 0.45 meters from the property line. So I'm okay to leave that particular variance, but I would like to include some condition that doesn't undermine what that provision of the bylaw, that 0.45 is, because it's really intended to, it cuts the 0.9 to 0.45 if there's no windows or doors. And the applicant has proposed no windows or doors, but in approving that variance, I want to make sure that none are added as a result of that variance approval, because that's what the variance would be doing.
The side elevations, say that windows and doors are as per the side elevations.
Or just say no windows or doors shall be permitted on that elevation. Usually when we tie to side elevations, they're usually based on the massing. I don't know with respect to the inclusion of openings, how the examiner may or may not treat that. It's a tough one. I think in this case, it's helpful that there's pickup at the rear. It helps to take off a lot of the strain. Like nobody wants to see, 4 or 5 large, extra large bins in the front yard, particularly where there's not much space to begin with. So I think the applicant benefits from the fact that the pickup is at the rear, also allowing for that side yard setback on the garden or the laneway suite, I should say, in order to facilitate access through the back. I think that's also commendable. Any other? Those are my comments. I don't know the massing and height. I maybe wait to see what my colleagues have to say. There's been some discussion back and forth with respect to official plan, new OP policies. Mr. Bartolo.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I think in general, the applicant has been working with planning to, make this project feasible and work. On a kind of at the 10,000 foot level, if we're going to encourage this type of infill housing that's slightly more dense and is permissible now, there's going to be small variances all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to need to be some accommodation for that. With respect to the bigger one that city staff have an issue with in the front yard landscaping, I'm going to lean towards the applicant on this one. They've provided a permeable walkway. If they're providing a truly accessible, like wheelchair accessible unit in the lower level, those are few and far between. So I think sacrificing a little bit of landscape to pick up a wheelchair accessible unit is a good trade-off, and I'm behind that. So in general, I think this is a supportable application. I echo your concern about the windows, although I don't think they would get a building permit, to be honest, if they did put windows on that side, because then it would be non-compliant again.
With shutters, they could.
With shutters, they could. This is true. So I have no issues putting that restriction on. And then with Mr. Nimfeld's suggestion, I get it. The stair tower is kind of visually imposing, and I understand how people could consider that to be ugly. I think it's a good idea to screen it, but I don't think we want this rectangular blob or mass screen that's even worse than just having the stairs the way they are. So some sort of, I don't think we can be too prescriptive on it, but if we want to put screening on that side, I'm supportive of that as well.
My understanding is that staircase is only for emergency exit only. It's not going to be used on a...
But they don't have a lot of space, and I would argue that the platforms in these projects will in fact be used for leisure. And so fine, that's fine. And the applicants indicated a concern for that as well and suggested privacy screening on both sides of all platforms. I think
Sure.
that's fair.
Okay.
So do you think a screen along the whole stair or just at the landings?
Personally,
Sorry, your
if I were
microphone.
designing it, I would think the entire structure.
Microphone.
That's
Mem-
not the
Oh, sorry, Mr. Nifel, just your microphone. If you just.
Personally, I would prefer the entire structure covered with some kind of a permeable screen, not just the platforms. I think that might be effective in reducing the visual impact of the stairway. The applicant has indicated he would be agreeable to placing screens on the platforms, which is better than nothing, but to me is not ideal.
Motion. We ready, maybe?
I can put forward a motion if one's needed.
Sure, yeah.
So I'm going to put forward a motion to approve this application as amended. Staff, did you catch all those amendments, or do we need to go through them one by one?
If you can please read them into the record again. Go through them.
Okay, variance number 1 has no change. Variance number 2 is revised to the proposed rear platform, east side yard setback, increased to 0.63 meters. Variance number 3 revised front yard setback to 5.63 meters. Variance number 4, proposed east side yard setback revised to 0.45 meters.
Sorry to interject, Mr. Bartolo. Just clarify, number 3 is 5.36, not 6.3?
5.36.
Okay. Staff, did you catch that correction? Yeah.
Did I say 6.3?
6.3, yeah, that's okay.
My mistake. Thanks for the catch. Variance number 5 remains unchanged. Variance number 6, 7, 8 are eliminated. Variance number 9, no change. Variance number 10 is amended to the proposed platform. Front porch encroaches 1.9 meters into the required front yard setback and is 0.84 meters to the east side lot line. Variance number 11 is amended to the proposed height of the building is 11 meters. Variance number 12 is amended that the proposed height of the front and rear exterior main walls is 8.96 meters, and variance number 13 is eliminated. I'm just going to turn to the applicant quick to make sure that this is all correct, because there is an abundance of changes.
I'm seeing a head shake, so without pulling us out of committee, I think we're okay. Mr. Bartolo, friendly amendment. With respect to variance number 11 and 12 for the height, would there be any opposition to tying those variances to the side elevations, just to ensure that the angular planes that were proposed on the front and rear are included?
In principle, I have no issues with that, but if we're going to make, if we're going to impose a screening feature, that's not reflected on the elevations.
Oh, this would only pertain to specifically to variance 11 and 12. So it's specific to the inclusion of the angular plane at the front and the rear.
I will accept that friendly amendment.
And also friendly amendment to variance number 4 that it does not permit the inclusion of window or door openings at that setback.
Friendly amendment accepted.
Friendly amendment accepted.
And in addition to that, we will add the requirement that the east and west elevations of the exterior stair be provided with a visual screen from the ground floor to 1.5 meters above the highest level platform.
Good.
And that is all.
All right. Second by Mr. Masiari. All in favor? Okay, that's unanimous. That application is approved as amended. That was a long file. Thank you, everybody. Okay, moving right along. Staff, we're okay to keep pushing through to lunch? Okay. And members as well? Okay. Item number 7 was deferred earlier, so we are on item number 8 now. 65 Livingstone Avenue. Bear with me, down to one screen. Just having some technical difficulty. We will be right, should resolved very briefly, in a minute or two. Please hang in there. All right, thank you, everybody, for your patience. We're back online now. Okay, we are on number 8, 65 Livingstone Avenue. The purpose of this application is to construct a 3-story fourplex and 2-story laneway suite. We have 7 variances before us. Building height, front yard setback, west side yard setback, laneway penetration into an laneway suite penetration into an angular plane, setback of a laneway suite to a residential building, laneway suite height, and soft landscaping in a rear yard. On file material from the applicant, I see report from community planning, transportation, Metrolinx, as well as letters of objection from 47, 63, 68, and 74 Livingstone Avenue. All right, and we have our agent back, Mr. Chan. Welcome.
Yes, the double header, sir. So if you would like my name for the record, Christian Chan, registered professional planner and agent for the applicant. My address is 157 Adelaide Street, West Toronto, Ontario.
All right.
And
we'll 5 minutes up on the screen.
Just like to address the Application Information Center has been down for the past 48 hours, so I was unaware of any other objections other than the property to the east.
All right. Thank you for advising us of that. Staff maybe make a note. Okay.
So I would probably have to address those items on the fly.
Yeah, so actually maybe let's start. I've noted the items in the file. Let's put the letters of concern aside for a sec. Have you seen our community planning report, engineering review memo, or Metrolinx memo?
Yes, I have. And just to advise the committee too, there's a new revised set of plans that were submitted to the committee on August 15th. So those were the plans. Those would
August
be the revised,
19th?
would be the revised plans that I would be speaking to.
Sure. Could you just say the date again of
I
that?
believe those are the plans received August 19th.
19th, yes. And we do have those in our original package, so those have been reviewed.
Excellent.
Okay.
So in speaking to planning staff, we have agreed to amend variance number, I believe, number 2.
Yep.
to 3.5 meters. So that's the one revision.
One revision and
of
in
this
line
file,
with
so-
the staff report. Okay.
And also in consideration of what we have just discussed on the previous file with respect to the rear staircase. The rear staircase in this case is compliant because it's in the RM zone, but I would heed Mr. Niffel's condition to apply that also to this file, should it be approved by the committee.
All right. Okay. And then with respect to letters of concern that have come in from residents, have you seen any?
Just the one, sir. Just the one from the adjacent neighbor citing some construction concerns and an issue with their shared driveway.
Okay.
That one, yes.
All right. And we do have another speaker as well from number 63, which you've read that letter, so we can address. We will be able to address that today as well.
I was just able to access number 63s. All the other ones I have not received, but I'll attempt to.
63s. Yes,
respond to them.
just so we'll pull up the other three, but at least on my speakers list, I only have one resident from 63 to speak today.
Okay.
But my understanding is a lot of these concerns that were raised by one are often brought up by the next neighbor.
Yes, in my experience as well. And just to speak to transportation services staff report, they're seeking a 0.67 meter conveyance to the laneway to the rear. I think that just for consideration to the committee, I've discussed this with my client. My client is happy to oblige to that, but I would just provide my opinion on that to the committee in that there is a 2 meter grade change at the rear of the property. There's some photos that I sent in. There's one showing a pickup truck. You can see the difference in grade change. So if the city were to seek the conveyance of that portion of the laneway from my client's property, they would need to build another retaining wall. It would probably impact the structural integrity of the lane suite once it's constructed. On top of that, I do understand the official plan, again, directive or policy for a 6 meter lane widening. There's a CR zone directly to the south, would may be developed with mid-rises or other higher orders of development in the future, considering this is within 2 major transit station areas now approved by the province. And a laneway widening on the north side to the RM zone would probably be something that would take a very long time. The only opportunity for the city to request a lane widening is at the time of a planning application, whether it be for subdivision, severance, site plan control, minor variance, et cetera. And I don't believe it's something that would be feasible. Again, I'm in the committee's hands should they heed transportation staff's request to impose that condition, but I don't think it's a realistic probability of happening, and it could seriously affect the construction of the proposed lane suite should it be approved.
And you've obviously been having ongoing discussions with them. Have you got a response with respect to those concerns raised about the grade change and the retaining wall that may or may not be required to facilitate the widening?
So I've attempted to reach transportation services, sir, on 3 occasions without response and explaining the situation, sending them the photos as well. We can continue to have those conversations. It's something that they may actually impose at the time of the building permit as well.
Okay.
But at this time, I think it's something that's it's a reach to think that a 0.67 conveyance would not affect the proposed development, and in fact, it is driving some of the variances as well, specifically with regards to the lane suite being proposed closer to the fourplex at a 6.5 meter distance in order to address these potential structural issues with slope failure and geotechnical engineering that would pop up. And also that the city would have to build a retaining wall in that specific portion, and unless there's an expropriation plan for all the lots along the RM zone and those along that strip, then I don't see, in my view, how it could be feasible to effectively construct that lane widening in the future, rather than taking it from the future development of the commercial residential zone to the south.
Okay. And was there any sort of discussion or thought about addressing that grade change through the construction of the lane suite? I mean, you could have it, you're putting a building at the back of the property, you could essentially deal with that grade change through the building itself via,
yes,
right?
However, in terms of cost prohibitiveness for the lane suite itself, and in fact, because of the grade change, the lane suite is not in effect or in reality a lane suite. It'll be a garden suite.
Right.
Because there
no
wouldn't
access.
be any access to that laneway because of the significant grade change.
Okay.
So again, that is a driving factor for the lane suite to be positioned further north to have that 6.5 meter separation distance variance. And another factor that's driving the angular plane penetration for the lane suite on the north side of the lane suite is the fact that the designer wanted to place the lane suite away from the slope. We're seeking a 6.5 meter separation distance, but the lane suite can't be wider than the 6 meters as proposed, which is 4 meters less than the permitted maximum length for a lane suite as well. So it is an undersized lane suite on the basis of the site's unique physical context, and therefore to have usable floor area on the second floor of a lane suite that's 40% less the length that is permitted is to have the penetration of that rear angular plane on the north side facing the fourplex.
Okay, very well. So there's essentially no connection intended from the rear of the property to the laneway because you've essentially got a retaining wall there. So there's no walkway, no doors exiting from that would facilitate access at the rear.
Yes, sir. And if the conveyance is approved, then there would have to be encroachment agreements between my client and the city as well in order to affect landscaping changes if they're going to be constructing a retaining wall, which could also be presenting itself as a barrier to, in fact, have staircase access to that laneway.
Okay, very well. Questions at this time? Yes, Mr. Nipville.
Just one flowing from the last conversation. That strip of land that's adjacent to the lane and adjacent to the laneway suite, you can't access that.
That's correct, and therefore...
So it can't be maintained. What are you doing with it?
That little space there, it's just going to be used as soft landscaping as a buffer to the slope.
But nobody can get to it to maintain it.
I don't think so.
Not without.
That's a good question, sir.
They could technically, they could go through the lane. They just have to go around.
I'll check the floor plans.
Where it would make sense to put some permeable pavers in instead because nobody can get there. Okay, thank you.
Other questions? All right. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chan. We do have another speaker in person. I'd like to hear from. Welcome. Please come down and tell us your name and your address.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and the Committee of Adjustment. My name is Maritas Garcia, the resident of 63 Livingstone Avenue. I'm here to address a lot of concerns regarding the number 65 Livingstone Avenue to construct a huge project, a 3-story fourplex and a 2-story laneway suite at the back. Since this is a shared driveway, I live here for almost 18 years, detached bungalow, a very quiet neighborhood. But the problem is in our street, we have only one-way street. The parking street is very congested during the winter time. So if the construction will go, especially the laneway suite at the back, our concern is the boundaries, the wall. How should they protect to have the strong foundation to avoid the erosion, the soil erosion? And also, since this is a driveway, a mutual shared driveway, how many people will live walking in a quiet neighborhood? How about if the construction will go through? How about the water flows? If the huge rain, where the rain goes, where is the downspout will put? Where is if the side of the building, the firewall, the ventilation, the privacy, the garbage bins? So these are all concerns. we're not objecting to build this building, but make them sure our protection during construction to protect ourselves and our property also. Especially, we are a good neighbor. We want to be, considerate also. I know that Toronto needs more housing, to put more housing. But make sure, please, we are so quiet, peaceful neighborhood, people. I've been here in Canada for 34 years, and this is my first time to come and talk like this, so I'm sorry. So please help us. After the construction, might be the foundation may build a problem like leaks. So please make sure. That's all I want to promise us that if there is something, they will oblige, liable for any damages that we may put to our property. And how about during the construction, the machineries, the debris?
Yeah,
They put?
If I may interject, so we're just dealing with zoning.
Yes.
Zoning, right?
Yes.
When it comes to anything related to construction.
Yes.
So the zoning essentially would get this gentleman that approval in hand to say, you can build this now.
Yeah.
As part of that process, when they go and apply to the city, they have to show the city that what they're building, it can be built, number one, and that it can be built safely.
Yes.
There's very
Safely.
specific bylaw that the province has provided us, the building code, that outlines what their obligations are when they go to build. And the city will not issue a permit unless they're satisfied with their proposal, what they're proposing in terms of the construction. I'm just talking about the construction, not the zoning. That's acceptable to them.
Yeah.
And that includes things like water,
yeah,
foundation, all that important stuff that we want to ensure that doesn't negatively materially affect your property.
Yes.
So at this stage, it's too early in that process.
Yes.
But what I would suggest is, if they were to get approval and they were to go and apply for a building permit and the building permit were issued, there will be a building inspector that is assigned to that permit. And it's not unreasonable to reach out to the building inspector early on as a neighbor and just raise some of the concerns if there's certain things you want to point out to the inspector. But that said, there are a lot of provisions in place to ensure that the concerns that you raised are not overlooked and that they're addressed. So I hope maybe just to provide you a little bit of explanation in terms of the process, how that works, it maybe assuage your concerns a little bit. But in terms of today, and right now actually, if there's concerns that you have with respect to the zoning, put aside the construction, but the zoning, right? So we talk about zoning, the massing of the building, the height, the scale, the impact of the use, right? Those things, that's really what we're discussing at this phase. So hopefully that helps a little bit. And I would, as the immediate neighbor, I'd like to know from you if there's anything specific about the zoning that may be of concern to you.
About for the property line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I hope they will, showed us where's the exact boundary so that they will not.
Oh, 100%. And I'll if I may interject again, it's separate from it. We have no control to touch the property lines or move them. They are what they are. And as part of that process, when they go to build, I suspect that they will need to provide on a site plan, or as part of their application, they will need to provide a survey a legal survey.
Survey.
And if they don't have one that's recent, they may have to get a new one that's done. But that survey will show where all of the lot lines are, the fences, if there's any encroachments of neighbors, all of that will show up. And the reason for that survey is when they go and build and the inspector comes to inspect, they're going to refer to the survey and the site plan, which is based on the survey, in order to ensure that, to your concern, they're not, they're being respectful of property lines and other legal things that are on that survey that they've got to respect.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the main concern, because this is a shared driveway.
Yes. Yeah.
So
You want to ensure that driveway is maintained. And I
Maintained.
presume when you say shared driveway, you would have a right of way over that
yes,
driveway.
and not blocking, because
All
right
right.
now it's blocking.
You're saying that what they're proposing would block the driveway?
No, the new owner,
Yes. Yeah.
because of this shared driveway, we can use the driveway to walk, right? But not to block.
Right.
But now they're putting the garbage now on the
Correct.
driveway.
Correct.
Is that
Correct. Yeah. The driveway's there to use for both neighbors, but at no point can you block it. So you can drive over the driveway, you can wheel your garbage bins down that
But
driveway,
they stop.
but you can't store them there. You
Yeah,
can't,
they store them.
well,
there.
that's a separate issue
Okay.
outside of the committee. And I would probably advise you to maybe take the opportunity to speak with the agent's representative, see if you can come. Everybody wants to have good neighbors.
Yes.
Start there. And if you can't get anywhere with that, then I suggest call 311. And that might be a municipal licensing and standards issue, but they'll be able to help direct you into the right place. There are guardrails to ensure that those types of properties and those conditions are protected. We see them all the time at committee.
Protect.
Is that helpful?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. All right.
One more?
Yeah,
Last?
absolutely. Yeah.
I paid my front yard parking yearly, annually.
Yes.
And my neighbor, because of the bungalow, only allowed one.
Yeah.
But now they're putting 2 cars. That's why they hit my car.
Okay.
So that's the thing.
Separate department.
Separate.
I'd love to help you with it, but I can't. And I don't have the expertise to advise you on that.
So how can I? Where I can address
Start with 311. Start with your
311.
neighbor and
Oh,
see
my
if you can work it out with them. And if you can't, call 311, explain your concern, and they will get you in touch with the right department, and they
Yes.
will send somebody out to help you with that. Okay?
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
Okay. Any questions? No. Okay. Is anybody else here to speak to this item? No. And we have nobody else online?
Through you, Mr. Chair, can we confirm with the agent Yadi Balestrous is the owner of the property?
Yeah. Maybe get our agent to.
Yes, the deed transfer, I believe, was provided to Committee of Adjustment to confirm ownership as well. So there's been a number of.
He's not speaking today. We just want to make sure we're not missing anybody.
No, that's.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I'm going to turn it back to Mr. Chan now. Mr. Chan, provide you an opportunity as before to address some of the concerns that were raised by your neighbor.
Yes, absolutely. And I thank the neighbor for comments. Just like to have staff please pull up the survey so I could discuss the right of way. It's in the set of plans there too. There we are. So as you can see on the screen here, sir, and committee members, there is a 1.22 meter shared right of way. There's an instrument for it, 1.22 meters on either side, and that's to affect access to the rear garage on either property, especially number 63, which that garage is going to be maintained. So obviously, as part of the plan, the proposed plan is that 1.22 meters east side yard setback is going to be maintained and not encroach onto that right-of-way as required by law. With respect to construction matters, I will absolutely have the building and project manager speak with the neighbors. They're in fact here today. So a discussion, a productive discussion, I believe, can occur after the committee considers this application. Foundation walls can be discussed again, as you mentioned, sir. These are matters that go before Toronto Buildings. In terms of how many people are using the right of way, so I believe in the past, vehicular access from number 65 would be traversing that right of way. However, there are no parking spaces proposed on the site, and therefore there will be no vehicular impacts to that right of way. In fact, it's going to be improved by my clients. And again, a discussion that can be had between parties just after this to see what the nature of the landscaping treatment would be for the right of way or to improve it.
Does the neighbor use it for vehicular access? Perhaps I should have asked them, but
It appears so because there is a limited garage to the rear. If you
okay.
use it so-
So from time to time, I apologize, maybe just a yes and no, because I shouldn't have you up to speak at this point, but just for clarification, if you maybe just provide, you still use that driveway for vehicular access, right?
No more.
No more?
No more.
Okay.
Because when we bought that house, the front part, we had the front yard parking here.
Yep.
So, no more, no.
You park it in the front on the.
Yeah,
on the
that's
street.
why I pay every year.
Okay, very good. Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good to know. However, that right-of-way is going to be improved as part of the reconstruction should the development proceed. I'll make sure that the applicants have protection during construction. Again, discussion we can have. And with regards to this garbage storage in the right-of-way, something that can also be resolved after the hearing today as well.
All right. Chef, where is garbage intended to be stored on this? Because you don't have access to the rear.
Yes,
Coming through the front.
This will be a unique situation. It will most likely be, again, if we're putting in the side yard in that right of way, we're going to have issues with the neighbor. Maybe there can be an agreement with the neighbor to provide it there. But if that's unlikely, then it would have to be located in the front yard for front curb pickup.
Okay.
But again, just as in the other application, there will be these multiplexes are managed by a company that manages a number of about 100 multiplex rental suites, and they have a dedicated property manager that handles all the sites. And above and beyond city waste management collection, they'll be having the property managers go on site upon any call, either from the neighbors or the tenants, that there are bins that are overflowing, and they'll be taken care of.
Okay. Questions? Mr. Nitfield.
Thank you, Mr. Chan. If you have to put garbage collection bins in the front yard, you're going to have to put a pad there that isn't there now. Is that going to affect your front yard landscaping?
It would if there's a pad there, but in typical practice, these bins would be stored in the area in between the fourplex and the laneway suite, and then rolled out to the front yard curb on the sidewalk where it is picked up for collection.
On the day of collection?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I think that's just generally practice. If that's optional, that is preferable, especially when you have such small front yards.
Mm-hmm.
It's a challenge. It's a challenge. And I mean, nobody wants to, come home and, walk up to their front door within, 5 feet away, seeing 6 bins, right?
Yes,
they can become pretty large. So I understand, we can't always do it, but I think where there is an opportunity, it's something that I think it's generally supported by this committee. If I can, I don't know.
Yes, there's no intent, sir, to pave over more of the front yard in order to store bins there. It would be just rolled out on collection day to the curb. If they're even in fact full, if we're having a property manager on site actually handling it privately.
Fair enough. Okay. Any other questions? Oh, all right. We had some technical difficulties today. All right. Let's keep this moving. Thank you, Mr. Chen. I'm going to take this into committee now for brief discussion and get a motion for you. All right, let's go into committee now. Yes, Mr. Maggiari.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and through you. I think it's a supportable application. It's similar to 281 Davisville with less variances. I think in general it meets the 4 tests, and I'm ready to make a motion if my colleagues don't have any further comment.
Just brief comment. I'd ask if we were to approve variance number 1 for the height, that it be tied to side elevations to ensure that those beautiful angular planes on the front and rear are maintained to accommodate or just to help address the massing that would result from the additional 0.54 meters in height. If that's okay with you.
Yes. So with that being said, I think I can put forward a motion to approve this application as amended. Okay. So variance number 2, front yard setback to be increased to 3.5, and also variance number 1 to be tied to side elevations. And we also included the privacy screen for the rear stair, exit stair on both sides along both sides of the stair. And also I would include the engineering conditions, the 4 conditions into the approval. Oh, okay. Okay, so
Sorry, through you, Mr. Chair, can also just clarify the height of the privacy screen.
1.5 is usually what we include.
Sorry, Mr. Marjorie, can we tie up all 4 elevations just because the dormer doesn't give us, I don't think the 2 side elevations.
It doesn't reflect the...
Doesn't reflect.
Okay.
You see the angle, but the dormer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I would include that.
So 4. And that's substantially in accordance with and would only pertain to variance number 1.
Compliance, yes.
Okay. Thank you for that friendly amendment. Just for staff, Mr. Marjorie, in reference to the drawings, specifically, we're talking about the revised plans August 19th?
Yes, dated August 19th, 2025.
We didn't deal with the conveyance of the land, though, and that's condition number 1 of the engineer. I stand to be corrected if I haven't picked it all up. But condition 1 from engineering requires the conveyance. You have to revise the plan to show the conveyance, and the issue that Mr. Chan raised was whether or not the conveyance actually made sense, given the grade differences. I'm somewhat inclined to agree with him.
So you're proposing to exclude that condition from the approval?
I raised the question because we needed to make a decision one way or another. Personally...
I would include all the engineering conditions unless...
Okay, including the conveyance.
Yeah. Okay. So that's my motion.
Yep. All right. Do I have a seconder? Yes, Mr. Kaboo. All in favor? Opposed? Mr. Nipfel? All right. Motion carries. Application as amended is approved.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and committee members. I'm apt to call the angular plane the Allison plane.
Stop.
due to your influence.
Yeah. All right. That concludes our morning session. Thank you, everybody. 12:52.
No, there's one more. Number 9.
Oh, I apologize. And you've been waiting all this time. I apologize. Yes, I apologize. We have one more item this morning. I thought we were going to pick that up at our 2 o'clock session. I do apologize. That is for the morning. All right. Item number 9 is the last item of our morning. 72 Church Avenue. purpose of this application is to construct a, apologize, guys, we are having some technical issues today. And I'll read off the screen. Staff put the hearing notice on our last, the purpose of the application is to construct a 4-story apartment building with 14 residential rental units. Right? Oh, hold on. Just not quite there yet. Staff, I'm going to jump over to Mr. Nipfel. Thank you. All right, we got a number of variances for this application pertaining to the purpose. One for height, another one for height relation to mechanical penthouse, another one for height in relation to roof parapet wall, and one variance in relation to the area of outdoor amenity space, and final variance that deals with the number of bicycle parking spaces located in the parking level below grade. We've got material from the applicant on file. And we have our agent in person. Thank you, Mr. Nipville.
Hi. Good afternoon. I'm actually, my name is Mark Jacobs, and I'm attending virtually.
All right, Mr. Jacobs, your address?
Hi. My address is 37 Patricia Drive, Toronto. The application before you is for some minor variances that have come to light as a result of preparation of detailed building permit drawings through our architect and the structural engineer. This application received zoning approval last year from City Council, and we are currently working with finalizing the site plan approval application. In light of everyone's time, and there has been some submission from City Planning, the Committee of Adjustment Planner requesting a deferral for this application. My understanding of the request has come from Mr. Carnell as a result to have further discussions with the planner assigned to the site plan approval application, who has been more involved with this project for a number of years. And through, I believe, vacations, those discussions haven't happened yet. So, we have, I've spoken with the planner, Mr. Canal, and I have no objection to the deferral request to allow for those discussions between planners at the city on the merits of the variances requested.
All right, Mr. Jacobs, there are also some other parties with some interest. We have some opposing parties. With the deferral request, might that provide an opportunity for some discussions with the area residents to see if we can come to flush out any of the disagreements?
Be happy to discuss with any residents. I've not seen anything that was written. I don't know if anything was provided. I've had the same issue as the previous applicant on the Application Information Center being down for maintenance for the last couple of days.
Yes. We were made aware of that earlier, and staff we'll try to get that back up. Okay, let's right now go to our other speaker. We have someone in person that's come down. Welcome.
The clock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before I get the clock up,
well,
community planning has requested a deferral, and the applicant has agreed to that request. So I'd like to ask you. Obviously, there's some concerns and there's some things that need to be fleshed out. So I'd like to get your response on the request for deferral at this time.
Okay, thank you. My name's Donna Owens. I live at 301 Grandview Way, which is a property condominiums on 3 sides of 72 Church Avenue. This process, I got the email as well and informed about the deferral. And yeah, in discussing some of the concerns, I'd like to see the city report.
Sure,
Yeah,
staff,
before
can we pull up-
making some of those comments, because, yeah, it just might be they may answer some of these concerns in advance.
Sure. So
Yeah.
it didn't come by way of an official staff report, but there was an email from
Yeah,
from
yeah,
the
and I
assistant
tried to contact this person who never returned my phone call, so, yeah.
Keep track of all that. If
I
we
will.
were to give a deferral today, it would provide enough time that, I mean, the staff, they really should get back. And if you're not getting a response from the assistant planner, you might reach out to the manager.
In fact, I did reach out to Emily Greco, who responded back to me within minutes.
Okay.
So, yeah, I was.
All right. So is there any objection if I put forward a motion to defer this to a later date? Given the
I'm
concerns
just looking
that
at a
have been
couple
raised.
of my other neighbors here, and I think, yeah, we'd like to be more studied on this.
Yeah.
To see what the response is before we start shooting off with all sorts of questions that just may be.
I may
moot
say
points or-
community
or-
planning has taken a bit
Yeah.
of interest in this too, and it may be to the benefit of everybody to have some
Yep. Oh,
planning
I-
eyes on this.
Yeah, let's have all the information
Okay.
before has. I do want to point out, though, that
Sure.
on the application, it says that it's a 14 residential rental units.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, on a website called VIP Condos, it appears that they're going to be for sale.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
So if that's a change, if it's gone from rental to condos, I'd like to flag that and see what.
Sure, I
you know,
think
yeah.
some clarification would be helpful.
Yeah.
I will, we'll ask the agent. We're just going to speak to the deferral request, but
Yeah, I'd like to
the
have more.
the agent's listening, so
Yeah,
they know that
Yeah,
that
yeah.
question, if it doesn't come up today, it's definitely going to come up at the hearing when we get into the planning rationale. But I'm sure it's on their radar now.
Yeah, and there's no timeline for that. There'd be a matter within a month.
Whenever
or
they're
more.
ready,
Yeah. Okay.
they will get scheduled in at the next available hearing, probably looking at a month or
Okay.
two.
I've had 30 years of government experience. It could be at any
Okay.
time. To make a commitment would not be prudent.
Yeah. The committee is getting much quicker, though,
Oh,
scheduling,
good to hear.
so.
Yeah, anyways. Yeah, and I'm just looking.
I'm going to go through all of the speakers unless
Okay.
nobody wants to speak.
Unless my neighbor, I'll let her address a question
Sure.
she has then on my time. But yeah, I'm happy to wait for the staff report and, and deal with this when it comes to deferral, and hope we're all
Okay.
around at that point.
And you can reach out to staff as well as part of that discussion.
I can reach out. Getting an answer is never guaranteed. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay.
We have some other speakers that came down today in the room. Welcome.
Hello. My name is Mary Kliniewski. I'm at 216 Grandview Way, and you had just mentioned that the Planning Committee has taken an interest in this. Can you elaborate further? Because as residents, we've heard nothing about
Sure.
this.
I know as much as you. So staff pulled up an email from an assistant planner, and the staff are requesting this application be deferred. And the reason is they want to allow the applicant time to discuss the proposal with the planner assigned to the file. So without reading into it, I suspect there's some unresolved matters that they would like to discuss before the next hearing, before we consider it, right? And often the case, I would suspect with this, they would be issuing a staff report one way or another.
And will that
So-
staff report be posted on the application site?
It will have to before the hearing, and if staff know that if I get a staff report at the hearing, we won't consider it. And that happened about a month ago. There was a staff report that was disregarded because it was just submitted too late. So the staff they're pretty good. The reports come in on time. There's some late reports, but they're posted 2 or 3 days before. And if not, the reports are put up on the screen for review. But generally, it's important to ensure that all parties are given proper notice and time to review the material. I think that's very important. And if there is any concern whereby you haven't received a report, the portal is down for one reason or another, raise that to the chair. They'll deal with it, okay?
Okay. So,
Did we get you, sorry, you got your name and address as well on the record, staff?
well, just now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did, okay.
But, so I just want to clarify the process. So we will get notified for the next time of this hearing, but it's up to us to continuously monitor that website to see if anything new has been posted, including the planners' reports and things?
Correct. The website's there, but the city staff will be circulating that notice that you probably received in the mail.
Yeah.
And the applicant will be required to repost a brand-new sign on the property for everybody to see. But it's usually the public notices that get mailed out to everybody that's the trigger. That's the time I'd probably check the website for any update. And you can also reach out to the planner or the applicant to say, do you have any other material coming in? Keep all of this stuff on record, okay?
Well, absolutely. We've kept it. Thank you so much.
All right. Do we have, ma'am, are you here to speak to this item? No, just listening. Okay. All right. Staff, anybody else online?
Through you, Mr. Chair, we do not have any other neighbors that registered online.
All right. Let's go back to our agent, Mr. Jacobs. It looks like we don't have any opposition to request for deferral, so if it's all right with you, I'm happy to move us into committee.
That's no problem with me. If I may be given the opportunity to just address some of those things just while I have the microphone.
Sure, yeah.
In terms of the project being advertised as a condominium, I'll have to speak to the owner about that. I feel like, unfortunately, I'm a little bit blindsided by that because it's not my understanding of that. I'll have to clarify that before the next, when this item comes back to committee. And then with respect to communications on the variances, I have discussed it with the planner who's looking at the site plan approval application, but the discussion between that planner and the community of adjustment planner have not occurred. So the discussion I had with the site plan approval planner was that let's get the applications submitted, let's get the zoning review done by staff, confirm the variances. Once it comes back to committee, we'll resume those discussions. And as I said before, I think because of vacations, those discussions have not been able to happen, but happy to have the item deferred.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's take this into committee. Mr. Bartolo.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair, through you. I'll put forward a motion to defer this application to allow the applicant and the city planner to communicate and work out any issues on the file.
All right, do I have a seconder for the motion? Mr. Nifil, all in favor? All right. A little lag on our screen there. Okay, no opposed. The motion carries. The application is deferred. Okay, thank you, everybody. The time is 1:06. We will resume with our additional items at 2 p.m.